welcome to another edition, another episode. I usually look at the camera, but you're so ebullient and so radiant.
You're so sweet.
That I don't need to look at the camera to say that we are in the presence of amazing entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs in Fuego. With me I have Nadine Arroyo Ramirez.
Rodriguez.
Arroyo Rodriguez. We have like 20,000 names when we're Hispanic.
And that's what makes us special.
And I like to roll the Arroyo Rodriguez.
That's right.
Nadine, how are you? Nice
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me here.
It's my pleasure. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
Good. After I left KJZZ.
But you left and you didn't leave.
That's right.
It's
because I left to do other things, right? And then they asked if I would just stay on as an independent journalist, contractor, to keep doing what I've been doing with the show, producing a segment. And I said, okay. And that's what really prompted me to open my own business, to start a business and really just go beyond just doing one thing and do more.
But it's more than just that, right? I mean, there's got to be a little fire inside of you that's going, well, in your case, it's more like a freaking volcano, because you're so amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, sort of. I mean, there's so many things I want to do. As Latinos, we're always wanting to do something, right? Everything. Try little things here and there. And I think I knew I was at a fork in the road when it was like, okay, you've been here a really long time. What is it that you want to do now? And I sat there and said, I really don't know, but in order for me to know, I need to detach from where my comfort zone is and just explore. And things started opening up. The idea of opening up the business or creating the business. And then now, yes, the juices are running. Okay, I can go this way, I can go this way, I can do that. So when I tell people, I'm an independent journalist. In other words, you can hire me and I can, write a story, whether it's television or radio. But I'm also a media consultant. And it's not about writing press releases, it's more about how I can help you get your message out, how I can help you know how to communicate to television, to radio, to get your story or get your point out to them.
Let's talk about that, because there is a lot of noise out there. Mm-hmm. Understatement of the year.
Some of them are pretty.
How do you break through that noise and make your message distinct and heard? That's the challenge, right?
It is, and you need to know, well, as a business person, as I am learning, because that's not my forte, but I am learning that you need to have a focus, right? You need to know what it is you're doing and where you want to go, your business plan. Once you figure that out, then you know who your target audience is, who you want to tell about yourself, but also service and bring in for your business. Once you figure that out, then you know what those few 2, 3, 4 bullet points it is you want to get out, whether it's about yourself or the institution or the program or whatever that may be. You start chiseling it down to a very minute amount. Right. It is how you then send that message verbally to the point and precise, and there's nothing else to it that they will capture, meaning the media will then capture that.
Well, but let me stop you right there. Because at that point, though, it's all about the content.
Yes, and it's how quickly you can say it, and how small of a time you can put it out there, and how many few words you can use to convey that message.
And what you're an amazing person and journalist and content creator, basically. And I'm just giving you all these titles, without even...
Keep it coming, because then I can use it in my own business. Oh, no, not really.
But you're a master at content creation, mm-hmm. And that's what sets in my well, you are, because that sets your message and breaks it from the rest of the noise that is out there. You chisel down, the media that you're going to use and the technology, exactly, the passageway. But inside that, there is the content. Because I don't care how much you chisel it down. If the content is crap.
That's right. I'm
not going to read it.
There is a lot. There's so much, and whatever it is that we do. But I'll turn the tables around and put it from a producer journalist perspective.
Yep.
I take a story, there's so much, right? I can do an interview for 15 minutes, I can do an interview for 30 minutes, I can do an interview for an hour. That's a long time.
It is a long time.
But there's a purpose for it, at least for me, right? Information. You want to have as much accurate information as you can have in order to write your story. But then you need to look at what you have and say, what's the one special aspect or the one fact that people will gain from it that I need to concentrate on so that I can tell the message effectively and within the allotted time I'm given. And in radio, you're not given a whole lot. I mean, 3 minutes, you might say but that goes really, really fast.
Incredibly
I
fast.
need to know what I'm going to say in the least amount of words with the biggest impact. It's the same thing with business and your message. What can you say with the least amount of words for the biggest impact?
What is
The least amount of words
the
with the
least
biggest
amount of words
for
your business?
I help you grow. My goal is to give you what I know and help you take it to the smallest, tiniest presentation with the biggest bang. Journalists, television, radio entities don't have a lot of time to tell your story. They really don't. And what they want is 15 seconds at the most of what you have to say about it. And you can do it in 15 seconds.
And even if it is memorable, the sad part about it is that it will go away because the next story
It has to be told.
has to be told. And the story following that one and following that one and following that one. So it's got to be extremely, extremely powerful.
Yes, it does. And doesn't require a whole lot of words, even just your verbal, just your presence, the way you convey that message also plays a major impact. For radio, a simple sigh, a simple pause, a simple breath can tell a lot.
What's the last message you heard today that stuck in your mind?
The last message that stuck today, oh my goodness.
The questions are going to get harder from here. Don't worry about
What's the
it.
last message today? I've been busy working. I was on deadline, so I've been writing all morning. So to say that I ventured out and listened to something that gave me a message, I don't know. My message, when I listen to something, whether it's somebody talking to me, because you have to do active listening, which
Sure.
is very hard for the human
It is incredibly
human
hard.
ear. When you're a journalist, you learn to adapt yourself that way. But what I've often learned is to don't listen only to the words, look at the person and see where that message really lies. Because in words, you can also describe a feeling, a person, an action. And I always try to look for that.
Is it easier to be in front or behind the camera?
Oh my goodness, it's easier to be behind the camera. It's easier to ask the questions. It's easier to think about the story and write it. And because I love talking to people. So I love learning about people.
And as you're going through an interview such as like this, you have to be able to think about and to maybe capture what you're saying, the meaning of what you're trying to convey, not only to me, but maybe you have a message that you try to give everybody else. And I feel like my job right now is just to kind of figure out what that message is and maybe just get it out from you as best as I can.
I've always told people, you can go anywhere at any time with any group of person, and there's always a story to be told. Always. All of us have a story to be told. We just don't know it. We haven't figured it out because oftentimes we need the person on the other side to say, that's interesting. Tell me more about that. And that's what journalists do. We just try to dig out those stories because it's not only interesting to us, but we know it's going to be interesting to the listener or the viewer.
If you weren't a journalist, what would you be doing?
Ooh, I think I'd be an attorney.
You'd be a great one.
Maybe. Yeah, I like to talk and I like to argue, so. Argue the point. What do you mean by that?
Have you told that to your husband?
Yes, well, yeah, sometimes. Although he has gotten to know me well enough over the years to say, okay,
Honey.
time out. Well, just, later. But yes, asking the questions is easier.
¿Por qué es tan difícil en estos tiempos tener, por ejemplo, el mercado hispano? ¿No es cierto? Es tan difícil penetrarlo y que se adapten o que se acoplen con la nueva tecnología de internet y todo lo demás. No lo están adoptando tan rápido como yo hubiera pensado que hubiera sido adoptado hace Hace tiempo, ya hace años.
Yo creo que la siguiente generación tiene ese poder.
La siguiente generación.
La siguiente, nosotros que somos un poquito...
40 más.
Sí.
40 para
Esa
arriba.
adaptación, entender que los que van a buscar nuestro servicio no son solo nuestra edad, pero también tenemos que aprender que son los jóvenes.
Espera, estamos hablando de 2 edades diferentes. Nuestra edad eres para acá, yo estoy más para acá
Pero
que
me
para
encanta
allá.
pensar así, pero la verdad es que tengo que ser honesta.
Hermana linda, yo estoy más para acá que para allá. Tú todavía estás joven.
Pero yo creo que es simplemente adaptar, entender que el servicio no es solo para nosotros de ya alta edad, sino también hay jovencitos que vienen que están bien adaptados al sistema,
Yeah.
bilingüe también.
Sí.
Y para entender y para poder progresar en el mundo de negocios, tenemos que prestarnos un poquito más al sistema tecnológico.
¿Agarraste todo ese mensaje?
I
La
think
güera nos ve.
yes, sure. Oh, ¿me entendiste? Oh, bendito, no.
Pero tú sabes, con esto, as you know, we only have this short amount of time.
Yes.
I mean, we can be sitting here forever
I
because this
know.
fascinates me. It's such a great story.
I love chatting with you.
I know, man. I love chatting with you because I can always get some more.
Yeah, I know. There are times we talk and you're like, "Hi, what was that again that you said?" And I'm like, "Okay." But the problem with me too is I can always overpower a conversation, and it's not intentional. It's just I'm curious. My husband even tells me when we're at parties or at events that journalism brain kicks in because I can be talking to somebody
Right.
and I could say, but what happened with this? And then when he has to be
There's
like,
follow-up questions and
yes,
follow-up questions.
he
and
has to
follow-up
tap me and
questions.
go,
Stop. That's
"This is social."
you're interviewing
Yeah,
that
yes.
person. You're supposed to be befriending that.
Yes. But it's curiosity.
I have the same thing anymore. I mean, I'm like, sometimes I'm just talking to somebody
Yes.
and then I feel like I'm interviewing that person. I'm like,
Yes.
wait, let me just
Yes.
circle back.
And you'd be amazed the amount of stories you can pick up from just having a simple conversation with
in the
somebody.
amount of great information and personal information that a person is willing to give you
Yes.
just by asking the same question.
That's why networking is so big and so important. Networking is huge. I did it when I was in college trying to get into the business. I did it as a journalist to try to learn and get to know people to do more stories. And I'm doing it now.
You're my hero, man.
Thank you. I'm somebody's hero.
And with that, we're out.